What's poppin'? It's your girl Mami Tiff here with Complex News, and today we have a special guest. You might know him from Everybody Hates Chris or as Gregory Eddy from Abbott Elementary. Needless to say, we have the one and only legendary actor, Tyler James Williams. How are you today?
I am very good. How are you?
I'm good. We're glad to see you. Glad that we can make this a virtual interview.
Thank you. Yeah, this worked out for me.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I just have to say, I think you are the one of the best dressed men in Hollywood right now, and I wanted to ask you, who are your current style icons?
I love what Coleman Domingo has been doing. He's really been like pushing some boundaries, but also the tailoring is like immaculate. Um, Jesse Williams is always immaculately tailored, and we share Law Roach as a stylist, and obviously I'm going to be a fan. Um, who else? Jamel Tillman is doing great stuff. I think it can get boring for the guys sometimes, and I like the guys who are pushing the boundaries a little bit, but also have like immaculate tailoring. It's not worth doing if the tailoring's not right.
That's key. And shout out to Law Roach. I love how you said, you brought up how all of them take fashion risks, which is something that I
Mhm.
feel like you do. And a specific fashion risk that we see reoccurring with you is a sleeveless, arms moment.
Mhm.
And even Janine, she points out your shoulders within Abbott Elementary. I just want to know, well, we've been talking about it here at the office. What is the arm routine?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I do a lot of sevens. It's a bicep curl. You do seven halfway to the not to the apex of the point, and then you do seven going all the way up to your shoulder, and then you do a full range seven. So it's like you end up doing 21 per set. And yeah, that's my go-to. That's my on set. That's my like if I can't get in a gym, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. And you love a flare pant moment. Is there anything
hmm
that you wouldn't do in fashion that you're like, this is my boundary?
I mean, I look at fashion the same way I do as an actor. There's not really a boundary I have as an actor. My job is to step in front of the camera and tell the story authentically, whatever it may be. And same thing when I put any kind of garment on, it's to live in that piece of clothing and see what it's asking of people. What is it asking of me when I'm in it? So as an artist, there's not really a line for me. I think that's just another way of expressing the art. And I think if somebody's put some hard work into making something that is really nice and fits well and is bold, then I'm gonna put it on and then see what happens.
Okay, awesome. Now I want to bring it to, back to you and being a child actor. Now, there's this rumor going around online that you were getting $250,000 per episode from Everybody
Mhm.
Hates Chris. I have to ask you, is this correct? Did the internet get it right?
No, it's not. Stop believing anything you see somebody put in big bold letters on the internet. It's not correct. I don't even know where it came from. And I heard rumors of it like years and years ago. That's not how the entertainment industry works. When you first come in on your first show, your quote is really, really low. Thankfully, it's not where it was back in the day, but no, that's not true.
Well, thank you for clearing that up and also
hmm
shedding light on like the reality, because that was one of your major, first major roles breaking into this industry. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
okay.
not really how that works. They don't pay you that much in the beginning.
And you being a child actor, who is on your Mount Rushmore of child stars?
Mount Rushmore of child stars. Zendaya, Kieran Culkin. How many people are on Mount Rushmore?
Four, four. So you can pick two
There's
more.
four. I was saying, how many people have to go with? Yeah, Zendaya, Kieran, Natasha, Leon. Yeah, and Kiki.
Kiki Palmer.
I think the big thing is anybody who can make the transition from child actor to an adult actor have to be incredibly talented because it's essentially restarting your career over from day one. But I think also a big part of it is like knowing when and where to elevate. And each one of those people did that at the right time. They didn't just kind of sit back on their laurels of being a cute kid who worked before. They found a way to find the next gear every time they had to.
Yeah, and shout out to all of them. I think that's a solid list to have on like a child stars of Mount Rushmore. And speaking of growing up in the industry, it's a very dangerous industry. And I wanted to know who protected you or what protected you from the pitfalls that you can, bump into along the way.
I think it was a combo. One is definitely my mama. Like my parents had kind of played around in the music industry for a while, so they knew what the entertainment industry as a whole could be. Um, so they did a really good job of making sure I wasn't just somewhere because I think that happens to a lot of kids and just people in the industry. They hear a bunch of people are going to be in a room and they feel a need to be there. They made sure that wherever I was, it was for a reason and for a purpose. And I think the other thing that protected me, and I think is the common thread that protects a lot of artists, is those who remember that they're here for the art first. I think it kind of gets misconstrued a lot that, oh, anybody can just get lost in it. That's not, no, not anybody can. If you lose track of why you're here, then yeah. If you're trying to be a celebrity, then yeah, it's gonna, I don't know, this is complex. I think I can say this. It's gonna beat your ass. Just because that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
If you're here for a reason artistically and you keep that in the forefront at all times, you'll be fine. Most times I spent a lot of my childhood, but then also now still asking myself, why am I going here? How does this service the work? It will give you a purpose. If you're looking for a purpose, you have to come in with your own purpose. And I think that protected me quite a bit.
So you're saying it's kind of like a combination of like having a great mother or someone who can really mold you, but then also to like being goal oriented. So like you said, what is the purpose? Keeping that in the forefront to keep you on track essentially.
Yeah, and I think it's the purpose keeps your ego in check too. Right. I think that's another big part of it. If you go into this ego first, or you find yourself making decisions based on what will service your ego, or sometimes even service money, you're falling into a trap. Staying grounded, staying level-headed, remembering that we're not celebrities first, we're artists first, and artists' job are to give something to the people. If I'm not giving something to the people, or in promo of something that's being given to the people, I don't necessarily need to be everywhere, because that's where people get into a lot of trouble.
You've talked publicly about your transition from child to adult actor. Can you speak to how you've overcome being typecasted as a Black man in Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, it's a unique journey for, I think, anybody who has to do it. But I think first and foremost, the thing that really helped me was I feel like I'm always hungry. Like I'm never okay with what I did last. And if I'm getting a script or a project that feels too much like something I did last, I'm not gonna do it. I think the first strategy that I had when trying to avoid that was I turned down everything I was offered. Because in the industry, a lot of times when they go, oh, I watched them kind of play the same role, it's because they're being offered the same role. The industry is looking, going, oh, well, you did this well, so you'll do it well again. But for me, I find that boring. So I think one of the things that will always help is never getting complacent, never feeling like I deserve to be or to have. I feel like it's a very special place to have a spot in this industry. A lot of people want to do it. Everybody and their mama wants to be on TV and acting and whatever that is that they want to do. But if you have a spot here, earn your spot every time you step in front of the camera. And that includes auditions, that includes anything. And I think that's the main thing that's kind of kept me afloat, is that's how I approach everything walking in, that I'm earning my spot to be here each time.
Yeah. So it seems like you very much like turn down things that you know are going to make you comfortable and constantly challenge yourself when the opportunity arises.
That's the point. Yeah, I think that's the point of any artist, and that's the point of growth ultimately, right? If you're doing things that you've done before and that you can do in your sleep and that you're really comfortable with, you stop growing as an artist. Unless you're going into a scene and you're reading it and you're scared in some way, shape, or form, it's not pushing you enough. And that's what I look for, stuff that scares me.
And that's great advice too. That being said, I want to also ask you, because I was in the internet streets and I saw that Everybody Hates Chris is so popular still in Brazil. Can you explain why it's so popular in Brazil for people who don't know?
I've heard several reasons as to why. I think it got syndicated over there after we finished the show. And, with a lot of things in syndication, it spread like wildfire. Um, and it blew up. And that's kind of one of those things of like when you do something and you shoot, like when we shot that show, it was like 2005 and we were in LA. We weren't thinking about how it could reach international audiences in any way, shape, or form. So it just goes to show you that, your work can live on in places and resonate with people that you would never have thought of. It's very interesting to me that like a story about a kid from Brooklyn resonates in Brazil, which I think that's just good writing. It's finding the core of what people are experiencing, and you can kind of drop that character anywhere and it'll be relatable. So yeah, it's the power of syndication.
Yeah. And because I've seen your co-stars, talk about also too, they think why the show was also so big was because it was, this black family. They were
Mhm.
working class, and it was very relatable to, the population of Afro Latinos over there. So, yeah,
Mhm.
okay, awesome. Now, how have you dealt with the overwhelming fandom that has come, with Everybody Hates Chris?
To be completely real with you, I disconnect from it. I disconnect from all of it, really. Um, I love the people who appreciate the work that I've done and enjoy the work that I've done. But I think in order to continue to make more work for them to enjoy, I have to disconnect myself from how the audience receives anything. I think there's a trap for a lot of people where it's like, if you're really hype on them loving something, then you're gonna be really down when they don't. And as an
Mm.
artist, you have to maintain your own North Star. And anybody who's met me out on the street or anything like that would probably speak to that as well. I'm here to do the work. I appreciate it when people appreciate it. I really do. But I can't make my decisions or hold too much value in that because eventually I'm gonna do something that you didn't like. But if it felt like the right thing for me to do as an artist at the time, then that's what I need to be able to make that decision and do.
Mm. Okay, well said. Now, I want to get a little fun with you right now. So, I saw on TikTok that a lot of women growing up were saying that you were their celebrity crush. Now, I want to ask you,
Mm.
when you were growing up, who was your celebrity crush?
Ooh. Um, hmm. It's weird because like when people ask those of us in the industry that there's a point in time where you kind of stop having celebrity crushes because these are people you see regularly.
Right.
Um, and that's weird to not do anything with. And that started happening a few when I was like 12. But I remember there was a show, I think it was on Nickelodeon or Nick at Night or something like that, um, called Tyena. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember like it's that show that lasted very long, so I know I was upset when it got canceled. But I remember she had me parked in front of the TV every week, if that's what that was, or that release schedule was. And I remember being pretty upset when they pulled that one.
Yeah, I think that show only had one season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just remember the classic Taina. That was
Yeah,
such.
yep. And I remember hearing it, and like it was about New York, and I was living in New
Yes.
York at the time, and it felt like it was made for me. And I was like, yeah, this is perfect. And then they pulled it, as most things do. But yeah, I remember she was definitely one that was on my radar in my younger years.
Well, shout out to her. She's still gorgeous and
Yeah,
stunning.
killing it too, and working and
Okay.
doing the thing. I love it.
Doing the thing. Now, I want to go ahead and ask the elephant in the room. Are you currently dating right now? What does your dating life look like? What's poppin'? It's your girl, Mami Tiff. ComplexCon is pulling up to Vegas. 2 nights of incredible performances, 300 brands dropping exclusive heat, and the culture all in one place. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now at ComplexCon.com and be a part of the takeover. I'll see you there. We out.
Am I currently dating? Am I ever not currently dating? Like, yes. It's like, yes. But I learned really early on, and this kind of goes in my relationship with the audience. I love y'all. I think y'all are great. Mind your damn business.
Ooh.
Um, I ain't signed up for that. I ain't signed up to be showing y'all my life. You can, if you want to see me and what I'm doing, turn on the TV and find whatever the programming is and where it's airing. I will always hold a firm line. So yes, dating, sure. Will you ever
Yes.
know? No, absolutely not.
He's very private, ladies, okay? What you will get is what you will get. Now, I won't hold you. This line lives rent free. It's a bar that you said lives rent free in my head. Just be a man, Peter
Okay.
Pan. Um,
Uh,
and I just want to say, well, we've seen you rap on Let It Shine as well as Peoples.
mhm.
Would you ever consider taking like a rap career path seriously?
I feel like there was a period in time where I would have, but that time has come and gone. Um, Rap is a young man's game. Um, it just is. It's at some point, outside, I think outside of 444, we haven't really seen many times that we've seen like rappers progress and get older and have something to talk about in a very like unique way. And that's why I think it's one of Jay's most important albums. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm like, I'm in my 30s now. Like the things I value and I appreciate are like low income taxes and like who can be on my insurance. And that's just not it's not stuff to necessarily rap about, but I'll always write. I like that's it's always been an outlet for me. I have like journals and journals and journals full of just the bars that will probably never see the light of day.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I know, but it's one of those things that I love to do creatively and artistically, but I've learned over time it's not necessarily directly connected to the purpose of why I'm here. And I think
Mm.
that's kind of that's what I'm focused on now.
But you talking about that you write, I mean, you could be somebody ghostwriter for real. We would never know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can give you this. The reason why I started writing, especially when I was younger and even now, is like I listen to songs and I have a very high bar for hip hop. I mean, it's just it's what it was our art form. It always has been. And I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people have gotten really lazy lately. So I'll usually go back and I'll write to instrumentals of songs that I like, but I didn't like the bars on. As I'm like, you gave up. So I'll go back and I'll rewrite this for you. And that's usually where they come from.
Well, what rappers currently that are out right now would you say you would love to give your flowers to since we're on the conversation of hip hop?
Oh, Conway, the Machine is doing still great stuff. Freddie Gibbs, who am I like listening to? Ready? I mean, pretty much everybody over at Griselda, to be real with you. I'm very like a New York hip hop head in that way. YG is always doing his thing, and I'm always a fan because it comes from such like an authentic place. I don't like any time somebody's like fronting on bars. Like he actually lives it, and I love that. Um, who else? It was interesting. I've been listening to a lot of Biggie lately. That's the thing. Like I haven't
Mm.
been in a modern space for some time, and I mean that's why I think it's just like the bars aren't pulling me anymore. The beats are, but the bars aren't pulling me. Although I really appreciated Glow's last album.
Glorious. That
Yeah,
was a great,
yeah,
great album.
yeah. She did a thing with that.
Now, I do want to ask you about this this rumor that went viral like almost a decade ago about Orlando Jones being your father. And we've seen
Hmm.
him work with you on Everybody Hates Chris. And then he
Hmm.
actually got casted as your father on Abbott Elementary. Whose idea was it to actually cast him as your father?
That was actually mine. Quinta came to me. We were on set one day, and she was like, "So we're writing in Gregory's dad. Is there anybody that you can think of that would be great for that?" And the only name that I came up with was Orlando. I
Mm.
worked with him twice on Chris, and he's one of those people, man, that people don't really understand the breadth of his talent, like what he's actually capable of. Um, from his work on something like Chris, that's like just kind of like broader comedy to American Gods. You know what I mean? Like incredible character actor as well, who just hasn't gotten his due. And very rarely do I get an opportunity to bring in somebody who I look like that much. And this was the perfect opportunity. So yeah, there was no other choice for me but Orlando.
I had to ask that because I was like, this is such a play on like reality and then being on the screen. And
Hmm.
have y'all ever like had a conversation like when those rumors first came about?
I think it was after I hadn't seen him for a while, to be completely real with you. It was like
Okay.
after Chris had finished and before we had started Abbott is when that had happened. And just by way of like nature of the industry, we were
Yeah.
missing each other in process. So we never actually did talk about it. But once the show started with Abbott, it was like, I mean, obviously, yes. If this is where we can service some fan stuff here. This is where we can like, all right, yeah, y'all have a point.
Fill the fans' delusions. Now, there's a huge conversation about AI in Hollywood right now. And
Yeah.
actors have spoken up specifically about the AI actress Tilly Norwood. Do you have any concerns about AI in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, I mean, I have concerns generally about AI in the entertainment industry because, I mean, anybody who's using AI for anything creative is lazy. That's just what that is. You can find good actors to do this. You're just not doing the work to do it. Casting agents are great for that reason. They're constantly finding new and great talent. You can't even argue that, actors are expensive or something like that. There's always new and great upcoming talent that people are ready and willing to find. You're just too lazy to go do it. So that's what that is. But I've definitely read things before that I'm like, you didn't write this. This wasn't written by a human being. This is AI. And it's always bad. You can always tell. There's nuances to creativity that I don't think AI will ever really be able to grasp and get. Now, as far as how AI works with the sciences and engineering and all of that, like that's the good use for this. Creativity, it's the real will always be able to tell. And for that reason, I'm mildly concerned about it becoming a thing, but ultimately not very concerned because it'll never be able to do what we do.
Final question. Abbott Elementary Season 5 premieres tonight. Were there any
hmm
plot lines that we didn't get to see play out with your on-screen relationship with Janine that the audience never got to see?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily they didn't get a chance to see, but that we hadn't gotten to yet. One of them for sure is coming up this year, and it involves some good guest stars that are coming in. But yeah, I think ultimately we have to see them explore more of their lives together, right? We've been to Janine's place like once or twice. Um, we haven't really seen Gregory in that space a lot. We haven't vice versa. I mean, there's a lot of things here still to explore about just the nature of relationships and what the modern relationship is that we're definitely getting into this year. So if you're Janine and Gregory head, you'll have some good stuff for season 5.
Okay. And before we wrap, is there anything that you're working on outside of Abbott that you want people to keep their eyes out for?
I'm a one project at a time guy most times. I'm working on Abbott a few different ways now. Like I'm in prep now for an episode that I'm directing in like 2 weeks. And it's such an intense job to have because we shoot for so much of the year that right now Abbott has my focus.
Got you.
When I'm ready and I have the bandwidth, I'll come to y'all.
Okay. Well,
hmm
congratulations on everything. Excited to see this season. Again, thank you so much, Tyler James Williams, for coming to speak with us here at Complex. This is your girl, Mami Tiff. We out.